News for this Tuesday. Thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night, everyone.
So, you want to see Helen?
What if I don't know what I want?
So, you want to see Helen?
What if I don't know what I want?
The biggest party in Hollywood is back.
You smell amazing.
Please rap. I waited 20 years for this. You gonna wait?
Gerard Carmichael hosts the Golden Globe Awards, January 10th on NBC.
Bolger Cremation and Funeral Services in Woodruff.
Straight ahead, another legislative session begins. We'll hear from the governor on Inauguration Day.
Plus, a scary scene just west of Rhinelander. We'll have the details on a two-car crash.
And looking outside the box for a housing shortage solution in Rhinelander. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and Jeff Weller.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 6. I'm Jessica Jukic.
And I'm Dan Hagan. Well, Jeff, we've seen an evolving weather day today from wintry mix to snow.
It's a bit messy out there. Roads are covered with some ice and snow that'll linger into tomorrow as well.
And definitely that snow's just coming down out there.
Yeah, the worst snow's actually going to arrive probably tomorrow. The first round's coming through currently. Here's the radar pushing through north central Wisconsin as we speak. Most of this now up in the UP. We'll get a break in the action for several hours tonight into tomorrow morning, but this is the dry slot. And it's not really dry, though. It has air in it that's giving us some mist, some freezing drizzle. So we're going to keep things slippery tonight as air temperatures at the surface are below freezing. So whatever falls will stick, and that will give us slippery spots into tomorrow. And then this much bigger system, here it is. There's a lot going on here. Wave 1 came through a little while ago, but this thing is moving incredibly slow, and it's moving this way. So that's going to keep the snow, freezing rain, and sleet in the forecast through tomorrow, into tomorrow night, into Thursday now, with some light precipitation through Thursday. It's not going to be heavy, but it will begin to add up. Something like this. So a widespread 1 to 3 to 3 to 6 snowfall, more as you go north and west of Rhinelander, but still, this will be enough to slow us down tonight and tomorrow, with likely the heaviest snow falling about this time tomorrow into tomorrow night. So here are the advisories. A winter weather advisory and winter storm warnings are posted through tomorrow in anticipation of some more snow and slippery travel. Back to you, Dan.
Today was Inauguration Day at the Wisconsin Capitol, where the governor, along with members of the Assembly and Senate, were sworn in to begin the new legislative session. Democrat Governor Tony Evers, who won his re-election bid in November, gave an address to a large audience at the Capitol Rotunda. He says he looks forward to working with Democrats and Republicans.
No one person alone can retain or recruit all the educators we need to keep our class sizes small, or get each of our kids the support they need to get caught up after a pandemic, or to fully fund our schools so that they have the resources to improve outcomes and prepare our kids for the future. But together, we will.
And bipartisanship will be needed this session as Republicans held on to large majorities in both chambers, but not enough to override the governor's veto power. Evers went on to say he hopes to work towards large investments in public education.
We need generational, transformative improvements as to how we invest in our local communities and keep them safe, and to ensure they can respond to basic and unique needs alike.
Evers outlined his full agenda today, calling for legalizing abortion, expanding Medicaid coverage, and legalizing marijuana.
A crash happened today on Highway 8 in the town of Woodboro. The two-car crash happened around 2 p.m. today near Wolf Lake Road. It's believed that one of the vehicles lost control on the slippery roads and collided with another, sending both vehicles down the hill next to the road's shoulder. No injuries were reported as a result of the accident.
Learning in classrooms is harder if basic needs aren't met. A new donation will work to make sure young Northwood students come to school on Mondays well fed. Hope in a Backpack provides children in Oneida and Vilas counties meals to take home every Friday. Feed Our Rural Kids, or FORK, created the FORK Endowment Fund to provide long-term support to programs such as Hope in a Backpack.
To provide meals to these students and families in need over the next several months. So we're very excited about being able to provide them and make them part of Hope in a Backpack program.
The Fork Endowment Fund donated 1,000 complete meals to the Hope in a Backpack program. Volunteers will then pack the meals into backpacks and deliver them to the school. School staff help identify students in need and distribute the backpacks.
And so we are partnering with organizations that know their communities and their areas that we can be supportive of, just like these meals today.
Feed Our Rural Kids and Hope in a Backpack encourage people to visit their websites and Facebook pages to volunteer or make a donation. Finding a place to live in Rhinelander can be quite difficult. Some city residents feel stuck in their current housing, while people looking to move into the area can't find a place.
But right now, there's an effort to make a small dent in that need for housing by converting a hotel into apartments. Newswatch 12's Mohammed Abdulkawi went to City Hall to speak to the mayor about the plan. Mohammed?
That's right, Dan and Jessica. City council members are currently holding a hearing right now to see if the Roadway Inn in Rhinelander is suitable to live in. The plan is to convert the hotel into a 32-income affordable housing unit.
There's more people looking for housing up here than we have housing stock.
The city of Rhinelander is holding a planning commission hearing in order to see if that problem can be solved.
This would be seeing if a current hotel we have in town is suitable to be converted into apartments, affordable housing.
The Roadway Inn is currently up for sale. Mayor Chris Hannes says the potential buyer wants to help solve what Rhinelander needs.
We have a developer who made an offer to purchase who is looking to convert it into 10 one-bedroom apartments and then 21 studio apartments. So, you know, if this were to happen, we would be 31 more livable units in Rhinelander within the next year or so.
The last major housing development was Hidden Valley on Driscoll Road, which was about 8 years ago. But the city wants to provide a more affordable option.
Prior to that was Cedar Point was more on scale of what this will be from a price point, and that was over 20 years ago. So this is something Rhinelander desperately needs. We haven't seen it in a long time, and I mean, even one apartment more would help our housing situation, but being able to possibly bring in 20 to 30, I think, will really move that needle to help our people.
If the committee gives the green light, the potential owner will have to submit a renovations permit. The hearing is still currently going on, but later we'll provide more details on our 10 p.m. newscast. Dan?
Thanks, Mohammed. For the first time in a century, the majority party couldn't come up with a Speaker of the House on the first vote.
We'll learn more about the historic day on Capitol Hill. Plus, workers are seeing their biggest raises in over 20 years. We'll have the details after Weather with Jeff.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Slumberland.
Get up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of furniture and mattresses must go. Lowest prices around on recliners, sofas, mattresses, and lots more. Slumberland Furniture.
Carpet City.
Uh-oh. Did your holiday hosting create a couple extra stains in your carpet? Or do you just need an update for your old flooring? Come to Carpet City Flooring Center and start your year off right with free carpet installation. That's right, free carpet installation. If money is a little tight, Carpet City Flooring Center can help make your project affordable with interest-free financing. Get your free carpet installation today.
Carpet City. Our prices will floor you.
Bam! My accident? My accident happened in a second.
My settlement? That's taking a really long time.
If you've been injured in an accident and need money now while your case settles, call Oasis today.
Better days start today. Get the cash you need with Oasis.
There's no risk. If you lose your case, you don't have to pay Oasis back, ever. Applying for Oasis Express Cash is easy and takes 3 minutes. We'll work with your attorney, and if you're approved, get you $500,000 to $100,000 in as little as 24 hours. Use it for bills, rent, whatever you need help with. So call now or go online to apply. Remember, there's no risk to you.
Better days.
Better days.
Better days start today.
Oasis Financial. Because life moves faster than your case.
Call now. Once approved, get your money in as little as 24 hours. 1-800-745-9991.
Up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of merchandise must go. Lowest prices around on mattresses, rugs, bar stools, sectionals, accent chairs, and more at Slumberland Furniture.
Well, this is life in a northern town. Here we are in Park Falls, snow-covered roadways. There's some ice out there as well, so take it easy out there tonight. You know what to do through this, as we do have some more snow and ice on the way. All part of a much bigger system across the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and Plains currently. This is the actual low across Iowa, moving incredibly slowly toward Minneapolis and over toward Marquette on Thursday. So overall, 2 more days of this thing across the Midwest and Great Lakes will bring us some more precipitation tonight and throughout the day tomorrow and Thursday, likely not ending until later Thursday night. Round 1 came through today. This is all heavy snow or moderate to heavy snow across parts of the UP. That line is pushed through. We're in the dry slot now, which isn't really dry. We'll get some mist and some drizzle in there that will likely freeze on contact tonight. So that means keeping things slippery by tomorrow morning again before some more snow gets back in here by tomorrow afternoon. Let's walk it through. So here we are tonight, about 1 o'clock in the morning. We're in that little dry area across our neck of the woods that will fill in tonight, though. And by daybreak tomorrow, we're looking at some more light snow. Notice the darker colored blues, though. That's some moderate snow tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. That's going to rotate across the Northwoods. So the heavy snow likely with this system is going to fall tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. But notice how it's not moving very much, right? Here's tomorrow night, 10 o'clock or so, and then Thursday morning, still some light snow, and not getting out of here until Thursday afternoon, and finally some nice weather getting in here for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But our most snow is still yet to come, as we do have that round of snow tomorrow afternoon. So that'll look something like this. So some areas today, Price County got 3-4 inches of snow already. That's where the heavy snow will fall again with the next batch that comes through tomorrow. But overall, Rhinelander, 3-4 inches there, 1 to 3 for areas near the Antigo. So we have some more snow on the way that will likely keep us slowed down through tomorrow into Thursday afternoon. And it's not just the snow, it's the rain, freezing rain, sleet too, especially across parts of central Wisconsin. There's that layer of ice right underneath the snow. And as you know, that makes things very slippery. So if you're out traveling, untreated roadways, sidewalks are a big mess out there tonight and will likely stay that way with temperatures below freezing into tomorrow and also into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thus, advisories are posted. This is your tax dollars saying, hey, take it easy out there tonight into tomorrow, because we have some more snow on the way and likely treacherous travel conditions across the upper Midwest. Our forecast then tonight, though, is rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Several dry hours, too, with low temperatures down near 29. For tomorrow, again, that combination of rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. More snow tomorrow, some dry hours and drizzle in there as well, with highs near 32. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwest Furniture and Mattress shows that good chance for precipitation tomorrow, a good chance for snowfall on Thursday. We dry out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with temperatures hanging out in the 20s. Jessica.
Thank you, Jeff. In less than a month, hundreds of the state's top high school skiers will compete in the Hodag Challenge at the Kavik Trails. This is the 5th year of the Hodag Challenge at the Cedric A. Vig Outdoor Classroom. More than 20 teams from Wisconsin and the UP with over 350 athletes are expected to compete each day of the racing at the Kavik races. Races will start at timed intervals on Saturday, January 21st, with a pursuit race the next day. The Northwoods Nordic Ski Club encourages people to come out and enjoy the races.
Ukraine delivered a devastating blow to a Russian ammunition depot. Aerial footage showed a shell turning the building into a fireball in the occupied eastern region of Luhansk. Moscow forces had been setting up at the site for 2 weeks when it was blown up yesterday, said Ukraine. The video showed trucks parked next to the building when it exploded. It comes as the Kremlin is facing criticism after up to 400 soldiers were killed in a Ukrainian strike in the neighboring Donetsk region.
Southwest Airlines passengers who lost luggage may have to wait even longer to be reunited with their belongings. Southwest Airlines says it could be 2 full weeks after the company's scheduled meltdown first started until some passengers will see their bags again. The number of lost bags are now half of what it was last Thursday. Southwest is working with FedEx to get bags returned by the end of this week. Southwest is offering 25,000 frequent flyer bonus miles to passengers who were inconvenienced.
The strong job market has prompted a lot of companies to give generous raises this year in an effort to prevent employees from leaving. Workers who stuck with the same employers are enjoying the biggest raises in nearly a quarter century. That's according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, which began keeping records in 1997. In November, the median wage growth over the past year for those remaining at the same job was 5.5%. But workers who switched jobs had it even better, with a median wage growth of 7.7%. Wage growth is a rise in salary adjusted for that rising inflation. Republicans have control of the House for the first time since 2018, and the first order of business is to elect a new speaker.
But that usually easy process has been thrown into spectacle with no contender winning enough votes for the first time in a century. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
History and havoc in the House today as Republicans take control of the lower chamber but fail to elect a new speaker in early rounds of voting for the first time in 100 years.
A speaker has not been elected.
I'm not going anywhere.
Representative Kevin McCarthy of California falling short of the votes needed to secure the top leadership post, with a small band of far-right members standing in his way.
If you want to drain the swamp, you cannot put the biggest alligator in charge of the exercise.
McCarthy did give ground on a series of rules changes that would weaken his powers as Speaker, but today playing hardball, accusing his hardline opponents of acting selfishly.
I will always fight to put the American people first, not a few individuals that want something for themselves.
Family members here to watch lawmakers sworn in, instead witnessing a Republican rift.
Andy Biggs for Speaker of the House.
That's tossed the House into chaos. The chamber cannot address any other business until a speaker is elected. On the other side of the aisle,
we are united.
Democrats making their own history.
A Latino is nominating for leader of this chamber, a black man, for the first time in our history.
Unanimously electing New York Representative Hakeem Jeffries as House Minority Leader, the first black leader of either party in Congress. Landmark moments already for a new Congress in a new year, already stalled by the age-old problem of Washington gridlock, this time within the Republican Party. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
An Eagle River woman is not letting retirement slow her down.
We'll have a look at her new career and how she's keeping it all in the family.
Start the new year off right during the final days of the Ford Shine Bright sales event. Don't miss your chance to choose from a great selection of new Ford vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. Or place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Plus, new inventory is still arriving daily, so you could drive one home today. This season, get into a 2022 Explorer SUV with 2.9% financing for 60 months at your local Ford dealer and shine bright.
Your personal information gets exposed so often, it might as well be hanging in a museum. Everyday activities like online shopping, banking, and even data breaches may expose your information and make it dangerously easy to have your identity stolen. No wonder there's a new victim every 3 seconds.
Someone stole my information and tried to buy a car in my name. Felt really devastating, frightened, because I had no control.
And the ways identity thieves can steal and use your information are constantly evolving.
Someone used my information to open up bank accounts in my name. It was terrifying, not knowing what was out there and what had been opened.
Watching your accounts or monitoring your credit may not be enough, but protecting your identity can be easy with LifeLock, a leader in identity theft protection. LifeLock monitors threats to your identity, and if an issue is detected, sends you an alert.
It was a big yes or a big no button. I clicked that's not me, and LifeLock took it from there.
If you are a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it.
If something happens, you have somebody fighting for you. I don't know what I would have done without my restoration specialist.
And you'll be covered by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package, including reimbursement for stolen funds, personal expenses, and coverage for lawyers and experts if needed.
With the $1 Million Protection Package, I know LifeLock has me covered.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity, but now it's easy to help protect yourself.
I realize identity theft can happen to anybody, so that's why I signed up for LifeLock.
Join the millions of people already protected by LifeLock, and for a limited time, save 25% with promo code 25TV. LifeLock. Identity theft protection starts here.
Call 1-800-951-7218
or go to lifelock.com/25TV and use promo code 25TV to save 25% on your first year of identity theft protection. Enroll now.
A dairy plant fire in Portage caused butter to run out of the building Monday night, according to the Portage Fire Department. In a news release, Fire Chief Troy Haas said crews were called to Associated Milk Producers, Inc. at about 9:15 p.m. for a report of smoke and fire at the commercial concrete building. Chief Haas said crews had a hard time getting into the building because of heat, smoke, and butter runoff. The fire started in a room where butter was stored. As it was heated, it began to flow through the structure. The Portage hazmat team was called in to help contain the runoff into storm sewers into the canal.
Retirement can be a time for slowing down, but one Eagle River woman is speeding up. She now owns a successful bakery after having no previous experience. Jo Buck, along with her children and 10 grandchildren, work at the Eagle Baking Company in Eagle River. Buck bought the bakery in February of 2022 after it had been closed for a few years. She opened March 1st, and since then, the community has been very supportive. Buck says the bakery was long established before she owned it, but people missed it when it was closed.
Almost every day somebody comes in and says, I'm so glad you bought this and kept this open. We have missed it because it was down for a year or two, I guess. And they're so excited that it's back up and running, and very positive feedback in our community.
The bakery also sells cookies, pizza, and sandwiches. Buck says there's only about 1 hour a day that the bakery is empty. Otherwise, somebody is working and baking. Joe's son, Sean, bakes for the business. He says he's glad to be able to work with his family.
It's nice to be able to connect with my family throughout my life. I mean, we've all had our own lives moving around the country and all that jazz. And this is the first time since childhood where we've all been in the same area.
Eagle Baking Company is now selling pizzas and donating a portion of sales to a good cause. For every pizza they sell, $1 will be donated to Feed Our Rural Kids. This will go throughout the month of January. We'll be right back with one final check of the weather.
All the Taco Tuesday excitement at Taco John's can really start to mix things up. Just look at these delicious simmering Tuesdays. And on this taco, Tuesdays are an even better deal. See you on Taco at Tuesday John's. Taco John.
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction. Then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus it's PFOA free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all at incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-898-6703. That's 1-800-898-6703 or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-898-6703. Call now.
Attention Medicare customers with diabetes. Now you can stop the painful pricking of your fingers with a continuous glucose monitor. And they're covered by Medicare if you qualify. Call right now for free information.
All right, let's go back to 2004, okay? I'm a 9-year-old. For Christmas, I asked for tickets to the Packers game. They're playing the Vikings in the playoffs. They lost the game. The Packers lost the game. Randy Moss famously fake mooned the fans, and a Vikings fan spilled beer on me, and I was very cold. It was a sad day.
Okay, so why did we go back here?
Because everything is okay now. Because I was at the game on Sunday. It was the best game I've ever been to.
Yes!
Big shout out to the Schneider household, specifically Jack, Liz, and Bill for the tickets. That's my friend Jack. His family has these incredible tickets in the 50-yard line. I also got to see my friends from Minnesota. Had to welcome them. We're all friends there at Lambeau Field, even if you're Vikings fans. And that game was the best game I've ever been to by far. A great, great day.
But
always a good day.
Beer spilled on you this time.
I did not get beer spilled on me.
Well,
and many Vikings fans were there for the first time and made sure they had a good time at Lambeau Field despite the
Is that why you don't like beer? Because it spilled on you so many years ago?
You know, maybe there's something in my subconscious.
Yes.
Okay, let's check on the weather because there's stuff going on there as well. We got the radar active and there's some stuff to our north, some heavier snow in the UP. We're going to see several rounds of some drizzle and light snow showers tonight. And then before some heavier snow gets in here again tomorrow, some spots today, Price County saw 2, 3, 4 inches of snow. But this thing is with us, not just tonight, but through tomorrow into Thursday with several more rounds of some snow on the way. That will look something like this when it's all done later on Thursday. So overall here, looking pretty good. It's not going to be a huge snowfall, but it is messy and roads are snow covered. There is some ice underneath them with ground temperatures now below freezing. And then it all clears out of here late Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A great looking weekend for anything outdoors.
Bring on the snow. The trails need it right now.
Definitely an interesting start to 2023.
I love it. Bring it on.
Thank you, Jeff. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 6.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers and Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio.
Wherever we look, someone is touting